Whatever makes your soul sing, whatever makes your freedom ring, whatever makes your heart beat strong, whatever makes your days bright, whatever gets you through the night. It may take some time, but you will find whatever makes your soul sing is the passion to begin again, to pick yourself up even when you fall. Wherever there's a bridge to build, whenever there's a void to fill, use your power to make dreams come true. Strike the hammer to the nail, push the wind into the sails, put your shoulder to the plow, starting right now. Today is the beginning. Can't you hear your soul singing? Whatever makes your soul sing, whatever makes your freedom ring, it may take some time, but you will find whatever makes your soul sing.
Wow. Isn't music interesting? Isn't music interesting? One of my first jobs in my career was that I got to be a director of housing for a college. And my job, one of parts of it, was to group students together in groups of 4 to share an apartment. And, you know, I hadn't met the students prior to move-in day. You know, most of them, occasionally they would come through on a tour and want to see the dorm, but most of them I had never met. But I had to figure out how to group them together, so they filled out a questionnaire. This was about 30 years ago. You know, my daughter went off to college 4 or 5 years ago, I guess, and they had this like roommatematch.com kind of system, you know, where you posted a profile and the other students could see your profile, and if you picked her and she picked you, then you had a match and you were roommates. But back then, back in the Stone Age, before internet and such match.com magic, I had to figure it out myself. And so they filled out a questionnaire and they answered lots of questions like, you know, how old are you, and what do you smoke or not smoke, and how neat and tidy are you, or are you a slob, or what kind of music you like, or what time you go to bed, and you know, all these kinds of questions. And we had a window after move-in day where they could swap roommates. They had to give it a shot for a little while, and then we opened up a window that they could swap around. We didn't want them killing each other, you know, midway through their freshman year. But it's a big hassle for us as a staff to deal with all these roommates swapping and moves and all the forms and records that we had to change. So I needed to get good at this, right? So as the years went by, I got better and better at figuring out how to put 4 people together. And I figured out the best predictor of roommate match. And you might have guessed it. You know, after you put the smokers and non-smokers together, which you just got to do that. But after that, music preference. Music preference was the greatest indicator for me in my job of how to put people together. Because if they listened to the same kind of music and they, you know, kind of got in their first meeting with each other, they figured that out pretty quickly with the posters they were putting on the walls, and they were, you know, unpacking all their, you know, CDs and all of that. They would figure out, oh, they have something in common. And if they listened to the same kind of music, I found out that they would put up with a lot of other stuff. You know, it didn't really matter how messy you were, or if you were staying up really, really late and I wanted to go to bed, or even lifestyle preferences and things like that. If music was a common denominator that worked. It was kind of a glue. And if you think about it, in your own life, it probably rings true too. I know if you know Becky and I at all, or as you get to know us even better, you'll find out that we get along really well, but we're very, very different. But one of the first things we realized is that we both really, really like music. And you know, she leans kind of more towards jazz and that kind of genre, and I'm more like current pop stuff. I mean, we have, you know, pretty much the current music playing, but neither of us are attracted to a musical genre that just drives each other bonkers. You know, we pretty much are okay. We have a little bit of, you know, radio dial battle, whoever gets in the car first, you know, we get on what we want. But for the most part, you know, when we combined our CD collections, we had a lot of duplicates, so we knew it was a pretty good match, right? But what does this say about us? And what does this say about music in general? And you know, on the internet, because good ministers always get on the internet a whole lot when they're preparing to talk, and you can read a lot of studies about music and relationships, and I think that's kind of interesting. But the bottom line is that music is about vibrational energy, and music communicates, and it often evokes emotions, and actually emotions are vibrational energy too. And I think that the music you enjoy vibrates at a frequency that either raises your energy or at least matches kind of the vibration that you are in. And that sounds that you don't like, that are dissonant for you, don't match your vibration energy level. And I bet you can relate to my reality that some music just makes me feel so lonely and sad, and then other music will actually kind of lift my mood and make me want to smile, or you know, every now and then I'll be tapping my fingers, and certain songs will actually like make me dance. But you know, it's all about energy vibrations and choosing those that we want to feel at any given moment. You know, when I was in the middle of a relationship breakdown, I wanted different kind of music in my car than when I just met someone, right? And actually the three of us were driving back and forth from the beach last night for dinner, and we had a really fun conversation. I'd never talked about this topic with a musician, so I really wanted, what do you think about music and vibrations and things like that? And it was interesting to hear her perspective about musicians actually combining their energy vibrations together to make music. It was really, really cool. And when I open myself up on a topic to do a talk, information just kind of pops in from lots of different places. And this week on the Today Show, they were talking about the impact of music on our lives. Timing is awesome. And they released the list of the top mood elevating bands. Since you might find that interesting too, I actually made a note of it. And they are, the #1 mood elevating band is the Beatles, and then the Eagles, and third was Michael Jackson. Isn't that interesting? I think it's just fun when the universe cooperates with my message. So, as I am wont to do as a minister, I really like to look at, okay, but what does this mean spiritually? Okay, so how does this fit with what I know about the divine universe that we live in, and how do we use this information to improve our lives? So what I know is that we are vibrational beings. We're living in a universe of vibrational energy, and my talk title today is Tuning In. Tuning in, because I want to talk further about how our everyday choices are either raising our vibration or diminishing our vibration in the world. And music and emotions aren't the only things that are vibrational energy. Everything is energy. The more solid something appears, the slower the vibration. And the more ethereal or intangible something is, the faster. faster the energy is moving. And so the reason our philosophy is called the science of mind or religious science is because Ernest Holmes was looking at scientific information and trying to see if the scientific information would match what universal truth that was being expressed in all these different religions and philosophies. And he understood clearly that this is an energy-based universe and that our individual energy is relating to the wider field of energy at all times. Here's what he wrote in the Science of Mind textbook. He wrote, "Science tells us that all form comes from one substance made manifest through vibration. This further helps us to see the relationship of the word, our spoken word, to the formless, and it teaches us the indestructibility and eternality of energy and cosmic stuff." I like it when he uses big terms, cosmic stuff. Energy itself is formless, indestructible, and eternal. And that's what we call God, or supreme consciousness. And I actually do like to call it God stuff, because at the tiniest particle of everything is this God stuff, this energy. And this energy waits in a state of infinite possibility for us to choose. And we choose with our beliefs and our thoughts and our feelings and our music. It's natural The natural state of energy is beauty. It is order. It is light and wholeness and perfection. But it is also responsive. It is responsive to the observer or the one who chooses. And there's lots of science behind that. And as religious scientists, we understand and intuitively know that we're trying constantly around here to tune into the original vibration, the first cause, God, the universal energy, the thing itself, and the list of names goes on and on. And we understand that all religions are saying the same thing. Align yourself with this original vibration. Align yourself with love. Align yourself with Allah, or Buddhist consciousness, or Jesus, or the oneness, or whatever. Align yourself with that original vibration, and life is infinitely sweeter and better, right? Holmes says it this way: the laws of mind or spirit are not different than the laws of chemistry or physics. Metaphysics begins where physics leaves off. Everything is movement. Everything we can take hold of and analyze, all things in the physical world or the world of form are in a certain rate of vibration, and they are an effect. This is the result of an infinite thinker thinking mathematically. So when we think into the energy, it responds. And this is where our individualization of the scientific and spiritual principles come into play. Okay? So if you think of the universe as a giant radio broadcasting system with an infinite number of stations or vibrational states that you can tune into, it kind of gets a little interesting. So God is the original consciousness, the original broadcaster, first cause. If you can tune into that particular station, you're going to get unconditional and pure love. You're going to get light. You're going to get order and harmony. You're tuning into beauty and wholeness. And this first cause broadcast station is available 24 hours a day, no matter where you are, no matter what you're experiencing, but you've got to tune into it. And we got to remember there's an infinite number of other broadcasts on the air at the same time, and you get to choose. So let's look at the top end of the radio dial, the spiritual radio dial. The higher the vibration, the more positive the broadcast makes you feel inside your very being. See, love and all its vibrational cousins are at this end of the dial. Vibrations of joy and gratitude and compassion exist at this end of the spectrum, right? And just like each radio station has its own songs that they're gonna play, the songs that you're gonna get at this end of the radio dial are songs of harmony, friendship, cooperation, gratitude, abundance, joy, miracles, charm. All of those are the songs, those are the kinds of songs and conversations that you're gonna hear at that end of the dial. And the DJs on those stations are speaking words of inclusion. They're speaking words of connection and community. But as you lower the energy vibration, and don't you wish radio stations on the real radio would be like in order, right? But as you lower the energy vibration, you can start tuning in to things like anger and judgment. And you get to separateness and blame, right? And toward the bottom of the vibrational spectrum, you're gonna get to shame and you're gonna get to self-hatred. And they're very, very low. And there's also a station of just like pure chaos that some of us tune into from time to time. Don't tune into that anymore. But if you turn toward the stations of lower vibration, you're gonna hear songs of disappointment. You're gonna hear songs of disagreement and pain and upset and lack. Breakups and breakdowns. The discussions being held on those stations are also upsetting. Trouble seems to just kind of echo and trouble seems to find trouble, right? And just like when you're working with the radio, you get to decide how to tune in your desired frequency. Get one kind of music and energetic level or another. And sometimes you scroll past, on the real radio, you know how you scroll past and you go, who listens to this crap anyway, right? But at the same time you say that, you know that there really are people that vibration really works for them. And we might call it crap, but it's their station, right? And as long as there are people tuning in to those stations, guess what? They get funding, they still exist, they still keep broadcasting, and it's the same thing with spiritual radio too. As long as there are human beings tuning into and putting their energy and joining their energy with those lower vibrational states, they're going to keep persisting and projecting into the world. You know, we come into in the spiritual radio world, we come into frequencies like we do on the real radio. We come into frequencies that seem foreign to us. We tune in, we're suddenly aware of people having conversations that are vibrationally different. We're not familiar with it. And sometimes these are lower vibrations and sometimes these are very high vibrations. And our job is to check in with ourselves and say, do I want to remain on this particular station? Do I want to contribute my energy into the continuation of this broadcast or not? Or do we want to withdraw ourselves and keep turning the knob until we can find a conversation or songs that make our soul sing, right? And the homes that we were raised in were filled with energy vibrations too. You know, some of you probably felt very, very comfortable in the home where you grew up, and you probably were quite fine with that energy vibration. But I know that there are others of you that just couldn't wait to get out of the home that you were raised in. The energy didn't feel right to you. You needed to go create a different vibe for yourself, right? If you were vibrationally similar to your family, you probably got along better than if you were vibrationally very different. And if your parents sitting here in the room, you know immediately which of your children vibrate similarly to you and which do not. And you also know, you knew it when they were very, very young, very, very tiny. They were born on a different vibrational frequency than you are. Home's right between the sides of mine. Another interesting thing he says, vibration, vibrate. Vibration is law in execution. To vibrate means to fluctuate or to waver. Vibration is a moving or a swinging to and fro. When we speak of being in vibration to one thought and then another, we mean being in harmony with one thought or another. The vibration of a book is a mental atmosphere of a book. It is what we read between the lines as well as on the lines. We speak of the high vibration of a room, and he goes on to say particularly of a room used for spiritual and mental treatment. And we mean the spiritual consciousness which has been engendered there. All phenomena are determined by their rate of vibration from what we term inanimate to man, which is God's highest vibrating creation. All are made of one and only substance. The difference in the form is determined by the vibration. Water, ice, and vapor are all the same substance, differing only in their rate of vibration. The highest vibration which man experiences is from love. Love. He talks about walking into rooms. And talking about that, you know, we've all walked into a room of people and we instantly felt relaxed and we love it. We're like, oh, we feel kind of at home here. But we've probably also walked into rooms where we're like, something feels weird here. We instantly felt uncomfortable. You know, somehow we're able to read the room. What are you reading? You're reading the energy in the room. And that's happening because we're always broadcasting and receiving vibrational frequencies. We know which ones feel good and which ones do not. We know when we've met our match with people, just like we know we've met our match with music. Have you ever ignored your gut when you walk into a place you don't really think you should stay? You know, maybe there's a party and you instantly know, I do not want to be here, I do not want to be here. But perhaps the host is a friend or something, and you don't want to be rude, and so you stay a little while. You know, I can only be polite for so long, as eventually I'm going to go, you know, I gotta go, right? I'm learning how to read my own internal barometer of whether or not something is for me. And we often hear at Centers for Spiritual Living, we'll hear this phrase, I walked in and I just felt home. You know, I know that was my experience. Was it your experience too? You just walked in and felt like, oh, I could be here. And I think it's love. I think it's that vibration of love that we feel and acceptance. And when, you know, most of us are kind of looking for love when we come into a room like this. And we feel it and we know, oh, I can stay here. We naturally kind of align to it. But one of the most important points I want to make is that whatever energy we send out from ourselves, whatever our vibe is, guess what? That's what we're drawing in to ourselves as well. We're constantly broadcasting into the creative law, the particular vibrational frequency of our thought and our beliefs and our emotions. And every feeling and thought and emotion has this vibrational frequency that travels out into consciousness, and because we're both a broadcaster and a receiver, we broadcast and then we receive. It is the cause. Our broadcasting is the cause because we're creative. When we broadcast love and all of its relatives that we've talked about, compassion and gratitude and all of kindness and joy, we produce higher vibrations that are going to come back to us. To the degree that we tune our little internal radio dials to the frequency of the original vibration, the original broadcast, with our thoughts and our beliefs, we will demonstrate God's loving vibration in our own lives and ultimately the world. But how do we purposefully broadcast at a higher frequency? How do we literally tune higher on the dial? I don't think this list is going to surprise you. We tune higher with prayer and meditation. We tune higher with playing, with laughing out loud. We improve our energy field by consciously loving others and generously giving to others. And nothing raises our vibration faster than forgiveness, because it's It's eliminating some of those lower vibrating emotions like judgment and shame. You know, cultivate your sense of awe and wonder at the world around you. Again, very high vibrations. And the impact of raising your vibration level can be quite significant, not only to you and those in your immediate home and circle, but to the entire world. We impact the frequency of everyone around us, and together we can collectively broadcast positive vibrations. I know that most of us want to have a positive impact on the world, and that's been the truth since the Science of Mind was created. It's always been an underlying goal of our organization is to be a positive impact. In 1952, Ernest Holmes wrote this in that same magazine that I got published in, that same book. This is what he wrote. It is our simple and sincere conviction that if millions of people were affirmatively praying every day for our nation and for leaders, spiritual powers would be loosed across the country, which would impel it into right action. America is the great dream of the ages. Let us keep this dream fresh and fair in our minds, and through our united faith, create a spirit of unity and solidarity against which the waves of disruption beat in vain. We've just got to keep tuning to the highest vibration that we can. So let me summarize. We are both radio wave receivers and broadcasting stations. We broadcast into creative law, who we believe we are, and what we believe about our world, our subjective understanding. The law always says yes, returning to us an exact match of the vibration we send out. And we get to tune our radio dial into whatever station we choose. Gratitude, compassion, service, and kindness are all ways of tuning into the highest vibration available to us, and that is the vibration of love. And love changes everything. Let's tune into that. And so it is.